Welcome to Relentless Billiards. This is a new series I'm starting entitled The Road to Lincoln City. This is part one, Analyzing My Game. Now, this series will revolve around my preparation for a tournament I will be competing in, and it is only 2 months away. Now, analyzing my game is crucial to figure out what I'm doing wrong, look at my stance, look at my stroke, I get another look at the table. Did I make the right choice? Did I hit the ball correctly? So recording yourself really is a great tool to see the flaws in your game, and basically you can learn and you can work on it. So everyone out there has a camera nowadays. Get your loved one, get your friend, get a stand, just figure out a way to record yourself shooting some balls. If you can record a whole game, that's even better. It is a great tool to really analyze yourself and figure out what you need to work on. So right now, this is actually my opponent. I am patiently waiting over there to get to the table. Opponent got a nice break. He's got a nice little run going, but not sure if he likes where that cue ball landed. I think he had plans. He's thinking, should I try something else? Yep, and no, he's like, no, I really want to get this ball off the rail. I think that's what he intended to do to begin with. He's a pedestrian. He tried to wave somebody by, and they're just going to stand there and watch him. So let's see. Good hit, just didn't quite hit it hard enough. And now here I come. First look at the table up close. And right away, the 7 and the 4 is what I'm looking at, because the 7 basically leads to the 4, which leads over to the 6. So I think we're going to clear this out down here in this kind of busy area. It's a nice simple shot there in the corner on the 7. And barely gave myself enough room for this 4 ball, so really looking at it just to make sure I don't sideswipe the 9. Yep, nice shot rolling up there for the 6. I really want to be, not just the table, but I gotta look at myself and see what I'm doing, because I know like that right there, look at my elbow, how far behind my back it is. Made a good shot, but everybody knows that that elbow is jacked. I need to straighten it out. It needs to be more in line with my shot. Let's hit this one into the corner here and just barely tap the 5 ball there. So there's another issue. Some speed control. I know I gotta work on my cue ball speed control, and that's a good example right there. If I'd maybe hit it a little harder, I could have bumped that 5 probably off the rail and at least given myself a better shot on it. Instead, now it's either play safe or go for the bank in the corner, which that's what I called just now, was the gonna go for this wild bank in the corner. And look what happens. Scratch. Now, my opponent has ball in hand. Table's pretty open. It's only got one trouble ball, but it's not tied up. It's just kind of in a bad spot. But with ball in hand, he could easily just get that out of there and take care of it now. Instead, he opts to go this direction. I guess he's thinking, let me stack up some points, because each ball counts as a point in our league. And I guess he figures he's just going to be able to get down there and take care of it, no problem. I'm not sure if that's the angle he really wanted. Probably wanted to be a little more straighter. Okay, made a good shot, but no, he is hooked. I get up to basically just come over and see if the cue ball would even pass through there, and it does. I'm definitely going to watch it. And foul. He nicked the 5 first. Still made his ball, so this is kind of do or die here. But with ball in hand, I mean, I can definitely make this 5 ball. And but I really got to get good position so I don't screw up the 8. I already know, I'm looking at it. I got to draw this. Just what I want to do is the easiest path possible with the most natural angle. And I think a nice little draw shot off of this should take me down table. I kind of punched that cue ball. I really need to smooth out my stroke. You know what? That's the whole. Let's look at that angle real quick. It's a little tucked, but fired it in. Okay, got the win on that one. But what did we see? We saw a bad elbow tucked behind the back. We saw speed control on the cue ball and kind of punching the cue ball. And I really need to smooth it out. You should have a nice smooth stroke with a good follow through. Not just be punching the ball like that. So, I won. I made some balls, but that's where that consistency comes into play. You can make balls all day shooting, crazy and weird stance or whatever, but you're not going to be as consistent. So I got to work on that. That's the key to winning games right there. So, good break. Nothing went in. Opponent's really looking at this 5 ball. 3 ball, sorry. Now, I don't know what he did there, if he was just lined up wrong or rushed it, but I've got some shots here. I'm on the stripes. Question is, which one leads to another shot? Because look at that cluster down there. I don't know if I'd move my head, you could see it. There we go. So 13 ball. Looks like the 12 ball. It's all tied up there with the 2 and the 4. And then further down table, what is that? No, I think that's the 12 down there. I think that's the 10 and the 2 that's tied up. So anyway, this is got some trouble. So I opt for this shot right here. Nice smooth shot, and that kind of put me in position for a few other things. So definitely, I know I need to get that 13 out of there. I gotta get that 12 out of there. I gotta get that 10 out of there. So we're gonna take this 14 down to the corner. Look at that elbow. Look how far behind my back it is. That is not good. Made a good shot, but still need to work on that. That's going to create some inconsistencies. We don't want that. So here we go. I can finally get to this trouble. Nice shot. Bump the 2 out. Really open this up for me here. Now, which way do we go? That's the question. I'm looking at it. I don't want to shoot over the 12. So we are going to, actually 10, I keep calling it the 12. We're going to shoot this 10 and carry it off of the 12 down there. And I made sure to hit it hard enough so it didn't get stuck down there behind anything. Okay, now we are in business. Everything's open. So I know I got an easy shot there, but I really got to make sure I get good position on something else. So I remember hitting this with a little top left. Really reaching across the table there. And I bumped the 1 ball. And that slowed my cue ball down. Not quite where I wanted it. I was trying to get position on the 9 into that corner pocket down there. And that's where that cue ball speed control comes into play. If I'd hit it a little harder, or maybe I just didn't need the English at all. Maybe I should have just hit it straight follow, and then I wouldn't have bumped the 1 ball at all. So just things to think about, and that's why we do this. We'll get to watch myself play, get to critique myself, my own game, learn my flaws, and fix them next time I get out there to go practice. So, okay, my opponent ball in hand on that. Yeah, didn't work out. He's got a bunch of little easy shots here. I don't know why he didn't take that 5 when he had ball in hand. Or at least figure out a way to bump it out. So now he's got this long shot down here. Pretty easy shot. But now he's going to call safe. So he's going to make this ball, and he's going to force me to deal with that cluster. Now that 9 is totally makeable. It does go in the side pocket. I have to be careful not to get hooked behind the 5. So I need a shot on that 12 ball. So let's see here. I remember trying to put some draw on it. Because I didn't want to get hooked on the 5. And totally missed. Look at that. Almost scratched. So I just, yep. Really got to smooth out my stroke. I knew I screwed that up. Well, that's okay though. Can't hold on to these mistakes. You gotta shake them off. Figure out what you did. Learn from it. And move on. I want to make a nice 5 in the corner pocket. And nice shot on the 8. So you just never know. I came out shooting really well in that game, and I still lost. So you just never know. Screwing around and Not playing a smart game. Shooting with your elbow behind your back. Gonna miss some shots and give my opponent a chance at the table. And in this case, give him the chance to win. Okay, so opponent, he is not happy with that. And looking at it, solids does seem the way to go. Nice speed control there. Except now, I have to do the combo. See, actually, if I'd hit that a little harder, I wouldn't have had to have shot this combo. Instead, I could have shot the 7 and then the 5. But shoot the combo and look what happens. I left myself with nothing. So, speed control. We are going to work on speed control. So now I'm going to play this crazy shot down table. And let's see what happens. Oh yeah, foul. That's not what I want. Just thinking shit. That sucks. And you really can't make too many mistakes sometimes. When you're playing really good players, one mistake could cost you the game. So if you make 2 or 3 mistakes, you're lucky to even still be at the table. Alright, so he fires that one in. Same thing with that. We got some trouble down there still. We got to get to. Looks like the 15, 6, and the 14. And now he created some trouble for me. Looking at that, I'm like, I don't know how makeable that is, but I'm going to try it anyway, because, I'm thinking, if anything else, let's just take this pocket back. Well, he's got trouble. And I own the pocket. So, that's the main reason I took that shot right there. So, okay. Ooh, almost scratched. He's calling the combo down there, so he's finally going to do something with this cluster. Knocks both of his out of there. And my only option really is that one ball. It's makeable. It's a thin cut, because I can barely get past that ball. Plus, I'm shooting over the 6, so that's why I take my time on this shot. Mostly because I'm shooting over the 6, and I do not want to foul and give my opponent ball in hand. That would not be good at this point in the game. Just looking at it, I'm like, alright, come on. Like, I know I can do it. Just line it up. All we gotta do is tap it. focused on, making the ball, and then I didn't get the position I wanted. See, I should have thought about the speed of the cue ball. I could have left it on either side of the 6 and 8 there and had a nice clean shot on the 5. Instead, I play this little swerve shot, and, opponent's back at the table. Yep, he fires that one in, no problem. I hit it a little too hard. I don't think he really looked at that one too close before he shot it. Yeah, 4-ball is definitely makeable. Shooting off the rail, all the way down table, and I don't want to necessarily bump that 8. Scratch. I'm just thinking let's play it safe. Really, what I want to do is just tap that 5 and kind of get the cue ball behind the 5, but I'm also worried about scratching in the pocket, so kind of hit it pretty full. Either way, my opponent has a shot off the rail, so he doesn't have an easy shot. So that's mostly what I wanted. Anyway, I just want to make sure he had a difficult shot. Let's see what he does here. He called it in the corner pocket. Ooh, look at that trouble I got now. It's also trouble for him too, though, if he gets to the 8 before I do. Remember, always count the 8 as one of yours. You do need it to win. Look at that. Hit it too hard. Trying to force shape down here to do something with that cluster, and rattled it. Fires that in, breaks that up. And of course, my two come back together, create some potential trouble. But I don't think he's really too happy with where the cue ball landed. I mean, it's makeable. It is, but you gotta be comfortable with those shots. It's like he opts to just play it safe, which is a pretty good safe. Options are basically playing another safe, maybe banking the 5 into the side pocket, but I'm looking at the cluster down there, and I know I got to do something with that sooner than later, and that 4-ball looks like it goes, so call the 4-ball in the corner. Yep, 4 in the corner. Let's see, and at this point, I already know what I want to do. I really should be thinking about the speed of the cue ball, and I just tap it in there. I made the shot. It was a good shot, but, look where I left the cue ball, sitting on the rail. Let's see, look at that elbow. It's, kind of not good. Nice shot on the 5, though. Rolled right back down table. A beautiful shot on the 6 ball next. I'm just walking around the table to give myself a little more time. Kind of think about it. Because, yeah, I don't want to screw up my position. Remember, I'm going to just try and draw it back. So I figured I could just draw it back into the long rail. Look at that. Just punching these balls. And, yeah, didn't get the position I wanted. I mean, it's definitely makeable in the side pocket, but I'm looking at that corner, and I know I don't want to scratch. If I had hit the cue ball a little better, probably would have got a better draw and had better position. Now I can't really get in there to draw this ball. So, yeah, I do what I can because I know I don't want to scratch. So I'm stuck. Let's just see. Yep, how jacked up I am there. And miss. But I didn't scratch, and left my opponent with, not the easiest shot. And yep, he misses. Ooh, almost scratched. So, same thing here. If I try and cut it in the side, or go for the bank. I'm looking at this bank, and I know that if I miss, I do not want to leave the cue ball where he can make that last strike. So I hit this cue ball above center, and I know it's probably gonna hit the 8 ball, but if it does, that's okay. Let's look at this leave. So if the cue ball was out of the way enough, I think the 8 might have went. But as a fail-safe, I knew that if it did hit the cue ball, it would leave him with a difficult shot. So that's why I played that the way I did. See, this is where you do not want to be here. In this position. Now he's got to come up with something wild. Oh, yeah. Nice hit. But look at the leave for me. Slight adjustment on that. He might have actually made that. But it was such a long shot that he's lucky to have hit it at all. And here we go. We got a nice shot on the 8. Last game of the night. I get the break. Let's see. Wow. Really hit the left side of that one ball. Pops back into the break. It does create a nice spread. I did make one of each. I'd say that's lucky. Hitting the ball that far on the one. So always take time to walk around and analyze the wreck before you jump into it. So I see that one ball. It's probably the only trouble ball on the table, really. 7's on the rail, but it's not blocked by anything. So I'm thinking stripes is probably the best bet here. Not sure what I want to do just yet. So, go for stripes. That one, hit this a little low, it looks like. Probably should have hit that fuller. See how I ended up on the side of that 14 ball. Yeah, I still have options, you know, like that nice combo right there. Still, now my 14's kind of troubled, so I really should have thought about that at the beginning. But anyhow, moving on. Played the combo. Definitely got some makeable balls here. But I gotta figure out how to get back down there onto that 14. Played that one. See? Speed control. If I had good speed control, I wouldn't have parked it right there next to that 5. You know, of course I can just take the 9. But still, if I wanted to shoot the 12 ball instead, you know, it would have been a little easier instead of shooting over the 5. So anyway, we're going for the 9. There's that. And did I even think about that? Let's look at it. Looking down there. Should have created a better angle to get on that 14. So you have too much angle leading away. Bump that 5. What could have been a nice run up. Now, you know, what do you do with this? I can at least see the ball. So, we're just going to try and get a good hit. Alright, good hit. Got it out of there. Oh, it's definitely makeable now. And my opponent now has a pretty good table. So what have we really learned watching myself so far? Absolutely need to fix my elbow. I've known this for a little while, and it really helps seeing just how drastic it is. Because that's not good. That's really too far behind my back when I'm shooting. I've got to fix that. Speed control. Really have to think about the speed of the cue ball. You know, where do I really want that cue ball to land? You know, and how soft or hard do I need to hit it to get it there? You know, and the other thing is I'm kind of really just punching the cue ball. And I need to smooth out my stroke. Should always have some good practice strokes, nice and slow. And when it feels right, you pull back, and then you gradually accelerate through the cue ball in a controlled motion. Look at that elbow. There it is. Boom. Look at that rattle. Like, jeez. Look at that. That leave on the 8. But it doesn't matter if you miss your ball, right? And I just knew it. I'm like, wow, that should have been it. But, you know, that could have just been bad form. You know, and it probably was. Look at that elbow. And then, so when you pull it back that far and you follow through, your arm comes around you instead of just going in a straight line, you know, and staying straight in the shot line. So now here I am gonna try and swerve around this and totally missed it because once again I didn't follow through the cue ball. If I'd followed through it, it might have massaged better. I could have at least got a good hit instead of giving my opponent ball in hand. Things are, yeah, these looking pretty good for him right here. Yeah, he's pretty happy about getting ball in hand. So, if you are serious about getting better at your game, take some time at the table to record yourself. Go home, watch it. You know, first of all, you know, look at your stroke. Look at your stance. Are you following through? You know, are you even taking time on your shots, or did you rush it? Did you even look at it, or did you just get down there and go, "Oh, that looks good," and just fire it in and leave yourself a bad position on your next shot? So, you know, you can see a lot if you record yourself. Go back and watch it later. And then you take what you've learned and you go practice. And that's what I'm going to do. When I get back to the table to go practice, I'm going to specifically work on 3 things. That will be my elbow alignment, smoothing out my stroke with a good follow through, and the speed of the cue ball. So I don't want to try and fix everything in one game by any means, but just get out there and just focus on a few things and just really, you know, make that the goal for your practice. And yeah, you can always work on some other stuff later. But I think if you just focus on a few specific things, that will really help. All right, well, thanks for joining, and hope to see you next time.